Senator Bennet.
Thank you, Senator Schumer. I want to paint a very brief history for you because I think it's worth remembering this contextually. When Bill Clinton, a Democrat, left the presidency, he left behind a surplus. When George Bush left the presidency after 8 years, after cutting taxes twice and saying it would pay for him, after fighting 2 wars that he didn't ask the American people to pay for, after putting Medicare Part D in place and not paying for it, he left a $1.2 trillion deficit. That's what George Bush left Barack Obama. During the worst recession since the Great Depression, provoked by the policies of the Bush administration, at its worst moment during the recession, we had a $1.5 trillion deficit, and everybody on the Republican side was calling Barack Obama a Bolshevik and a socialist and saying he was responsible for out-of-control spending. You remember it, it's true. And they did not lift a finger to help the American people when we had a 10% unemployment rate in, again, the worst recession since the Great Depression, out of a spirit of fiscal responsibility. That's what they said. And now, because of their incredibly irresponsible policies, we are going to have a $1 trillion deficit next year. Not in the worst recession since the Great Depression, but at full employment. We borrowed every single cent of that from the next generation of Americans to give tax cuts to the wealthiest people in America and to the largest corporations. And now they're saying, well, we're going to put a balanced budget amendment on the floor. And even the Freedom Caucus is saying, don't come to the floor and beat your chest like Tarzan and say you're fiscally responsible. The time to do that was a month ago. And we have to find ways of helping the American people understand the theft that is being engaged in here from the next generation of Americans whose parents are police officers, firefighters, and teachers who are not seeing the kind of benefit from this bill that people at the very top have seen. And with that, I'll turn it back to Senator Schumer.
One of the great few remaining fiscal watchdogs in the whole Congress you've just heard from, passionately and without a note.